welcome back to ChaatNChat. My name is Josh.
My name is Miguel.
And we're watching Jolly LLB. This is part 3, so if you've missed part 1 or part 2, you can go check both of those out. I put the link to the playlist below this video in the description, so go check those out. Join us back here, where we're going to finish the movie, and after the whole reaction part, we have thoughts, reviews, opinions, that sort of thing. So if you're interested, don't miss it. And if you haven't yet, please consider hitting the subscribe button, the bell icon, a like button पर थप्पड़ मारो।
वो कल का लड़का तुम्हारे इंस्पेक्टर राठी के पुलिस डिपार्टमेंट से वो सीडी निकाल ले आया। हमने पैसा पानी की तरह बहाया है, but it's getting us nothing.
अगर आप बुरा न मानो तो do you want us to consult some other lawyer?
Are you doubting my ability?
No, I don't. But इस उम्र में इकलौते पोते को जेल जाते हुए नहीं देख सकता।
Grandpa, you may have to find this hard to believe, but you know what? It did what it did. Sometimes some things can't be overlooked.
Yeah, but people in their dynasties think that they're above it all.
I know, yeah.
क्यों वकील साहब, ज़्यादा चर्बी चढ़ गई है आजकल? हाँ? सीनियर से बात करने की तमीज़ भूल गया। आइंदा राजपाल साहब से बदतमीजी से बात की ना, जहाँ से निकला वहीं बांट दूंगा।
राजपाल साहब से कहना।
Oh, dude. They were gonna just leave him alone with the warning, but I wonder if part of him thought he believed he deserved this punishment.
Well, that, or if he gets beat up and he shows up at court, he can, you know.
I don't think so. I mean, he could have already testified about illegal things that have happened.
Or maybe someone's filming it for him.
No, I think that was Rajpal. That was just watching.
हुजूर पिछली बार इस कोर्ट में एक सीडी दिखाकर हीरो बनने की कोशिश की गई। I also admit कि एक्सीडेंट के रात को ही वो सीडी बनाई गई थी, लेकिन उस एक्सीडेंट का इस केस से कोई लेना देना नहीं। In fact, it is a sheer coincidence कि दोनों एक्सीडेंट्स एक ही रात में हुए।
Oh, just a coincidence?
उस रात को क्या हुआ जरा कोर्ट को बताओ।
जज साहब, उस रात मैं राहुल बाबा को किसी पार्टी में छोड़कर वापस आ रहा था। रोड खाली थे और कार नहीं, तो मैं थोड़ा फास्ट चला रहा था।
What about the other car?
मैंने साहब को फोन किया, उन्होंने मुझे बहुत डांटा और पुलिस में जाकर कंप्लेन करने को कहा।
पुलिस स्टेशन में क्या हुआ?
पुलिस स्टेशन में इंश्योरेंस कंपनी के बंदे ने कार का वीडियो बनाया।
यही है इस सीडी की असलियत। I have the police report copy and the insurance copy. तुम जा सकते हो।
Fabricated? What a liar.
He's going to, I get to cross-examine.
आधी रात को खुली सड़क पे इतनी महंगी इंपोर्टेड गाड़ी ठोक कैसी थी तूने?
रोड खाली थी और मेरी स्पीड थोड़ी ज्यादा थी।
फिर भी क्या 60-70 की स्पीड से ज्यादा क्या होगी?
इंपोर्टेड गाड़ी है, 60-70 तो पहले गियर में चली जाती है।
तू कौन से गियर पे था?
मैं थर्ड गियर में, 100-110 की स्पीड रही होगी।
थर्ड गियर पे। राजपाल साहब, ठीक से तैयारी नहीं करवाई आपने?
That's an automatic car.
जनाब, ये आदमी झूठ बोल रहा है। जिस गाड़ी की बात हम कर रहे हैं वो ऑटोमेटिक है।
Told you.
सर, वो गाड़ी के पेपर्स हमने कोर्ट में सबमिट कर दिए हैं। आप चाहे तो चेक कर सकते हैं।
झूठ बोल रहा तू? तेरे को मालूम है कोर्ट के अंदर झूठ बोलने का नतीजा क्या होता है?
Look at his face.
हाँ, और बोल कुकड़ू कू।
कुकड़ू कू।
प्रेशराइज किया जा रहा है केस छोड़ने के लिए। मुझे धमकियों वाले फोन आ रहे हैं और 2 दिन पहले मुझ पर हमला भी किया गया।
वैसे तुम्हारी हरकतें पिटने लायक ही है, but I had nothing to do with this.
नाटक मत कर राजपाल।
Oh, well, if you, again, there was someone that saw it.
मुझे सिक्योरिटी वर्टी नहीं चाहिए।
अरे वकील साहब, जान है तो जहान है। मैं ऑर्डर देता हूँ पुलिस को, आपकी सिक्योरिटी का इंतजाम कर दे। ना तो अगर आपको कुछ हो गया ना, तो हमें एक केस और झेलना पड़ जाएगा भाई यहाँ पर।
He says as he laughs. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's...
It's not a joking matter.
हवलदार हल्दीराम साहब, आपका बॉडीगार्ड।
Oh, yeah. Such a great bodyguard.
पैदल चलते चलते थक गया हूँ साहब, थोड़ा पानी मिलेगा?
They had this poor guy walking.
स्कूटर की टंकी में टेंशन को डाल।
Someone has sabotaged it.
No, it's just an old scooter.
सिक्के हैं अपने खोटे, सिक्के हैं अपने खोटे, सिक्के हैं अपने खोटे।
This guy needs to be in a hospital. I don't know what he's...
Yeah.
Definitely gave him like the lemon of the group.
Yeah.
But just like him, people don't expect anything. So maybe he does turn out to be a good bodyguard.
Yeah.
अच्छे खासे तो लगते हो, फिर ये चेहरे पे मेकअप लगाने की क्या जरूरत थी?
मेकअप पसंद नहीं है? मुझे माफ कर दे संधू। कश्मीरी पुलाव मैंने बनाया है। हाँ माजू।
चलिए भैया
बस्ती में ना एक आई विटनेस मिल गया है मुझे।
उसको कहीं जाने मत देना, मैं अभी थोड़ी देर में आ रहा हूँ।
Yeah, you gotta jump on it because word spreads really quickly with witnesses.
Yeah.
थोड़ा
Could be a setup too.
Yeah, does he have his bodyguard with it? He does! Nice.
एक्सीडेंट के बारे में क्या जानते हैं आप?
हम तो सब कुछ जानते हैं साहब, हमारे सामने ही तो एक्सीडेंट हुआ था, मरने वाले अपने ही लोग थे।
He's playing with his gun. I don't like him playing with his gun in the background there. Accidentally shoot the witness.
एक दिन का काम छोड़कर कोर्ट कचहरी में जाएंगे तो शाम को खाएंगे क्या? इस देश में गरीबों को इंसाफ बहुत महंगा मिलता है साहब।
उस दिन वो 6 लोग मरे थे, फिर आप मरेंगे। किसी ना किसी को तो खड़ा होना ही पड़ेगा ना।
तो हो कोई खड़ा, हमारे बस की बात नहीं। हमें जो कुछ पता था हमने इनको बता दिया।
कौन?
तुम गवाही दो या ना दो, मैं तो सच ढूंढ के ही निकालूंगा।
सारी सच्चाई दिल्ली में ही ढूंढोगे वकील साहब।
What did he say?
He's being watched again.
गोरखपुर जाओ साहब, सच तो वहाँ छुपा बैठा है।
कहाँ जाने की तैयारी हो रही है?
तुमसे मतलब?
बैग हो दे साढ़े पे।
हाथ मत लगाना बैग को, लाठी
ना। आज रात को आप नहीं जा सकते, कल सुबह निकल जाना गोरखपुर।
Oh.
गन छोड़ दीजिए साहब। 5 मिनट मैं क्या नीचे गया, आपने साहब को गन दिखा दी। साहब बुरा काम आप लोग करते हो और बदनाम हमें करते हो। मैं कहता हूँ जाओ, मैं हूं ना यहाँ, मैं संभाल लूंगा इसे। हिला नहीं।
See, I told you, like, you know, people don't expect much, but then they come through.
Yeah.
And because he knows that he's fighting for the people, and I'm sure they don't give him a car, they don't give him anything, they don't look at him as like a real officer probably.
Right.
So for him, it's like, yeah.
It's a little bit of me being able to stand up to the man in the system.
Yeah, the underdog story in a way.
दादा मिश्रा
जी
सर, मैं इस केस के इन्वेस्टिगेटिंग ऑफिसर सब इंस्पेक्टर राठी को बुलाना चाहूंगा। और सर, विटनेस का एडवांस नोटिस हमने पहले ही दे दिया है सर।
Learned his lesson.
राठी साहब, ये उन लोगों के नाम है जो इस रात एक्सीडेंट में मारे गए थे। जरा कोर्ट को इनके नाम पढ़ के सुनाएंगे? हाँ, नहीं, पढ़ो पढ़ो, कुछ इंटरेस्टिंग लग रहा है, पढ़ो।
He's like,
this is interesting. Something
watch
different.
this movie and chill.
जब से मैंने ये केस लिया है ना, ये लोग मेरे सपने में आते हैं, कहते हैं कि आपने अपना काम ईमानदारी से नहीं किया।
एक आधा मुर्दा ही बुला लीजिए, वो सच बता देगा आपको।
बिल्कुल वही तो कर रहा हूँ राठी साहब, क्योंकि इनमें से एक को मुर्दा बनाने वाले आप हैं। विक्टिम नंबर 6 सदाकांत मिश्रा जिंदा है जनाब, और पुलिस फाइल्स में उसे मुर्दा बताने वाले ये हैं सब इंस्पेक्टर राठी।
Oh, why though?
जनाब, ये आखिरी मौका है असलियत सामने लाने का, सच्चाई सामने लाने का।
अभी तुम बैठ जाओ, जब लड़ी सच्चाई कैन कम लेटर। सिट डाउन।
राजपाल साहब, राजपाल।
He's like, this is my court. I'll tell him when to sit down. You punk.
आप विटनेस को बुला के लेके। थैंक यू सर। बात खत्म हुई, मैं कर रहा हूँ। आप लेके आओ तक साहब।
लेकिन रूल्स आर रूल्स।
राजपाल साहब, मुझे भी रूल मालूम है। आप
How can you call such a witness, sir?
हाँ जी।
I said, how can you call such a witness?
How can I?
Yes.
राजपाल साहब, ये
He's
मेरा
getting
कोर्ट
full of
है,
himself.
आपका क्लब नहीं।
Yeah.
राजपाल साहब, क्यों बहस कर रहे हो? मैं बोल रहा हूँ बैठ जाओ ना, प्लीज बैठ
I
जाओ।
will not sit down.
राजपाल साहब, I'm ordering you, just sit down.
Oh.
Daddy's getting angry.
Yeah, you better do it, dude.
ये कोर्ट है मेरा कोर्ट है। Shut up and just shut up.
I'm sitting here, sir. I'm down.
Oh man, this is like a child.
हाँ जी, हाँ, त्यागी साहब, क्या बोल रहे थे आप?
Oh, he did such a nice spin up. Yes, Beta, what's going on? Tell me, I'm liking this.
Oh my gosh, that was like really hard to watch though.
Yeah, it
He was
was.
like acting like a 3-year-old.
उस रात हम लोग फुटपाथ पे सो रहे थे। रात को अचानक बहुत जोर की आवाज़ हुई। मेरी आंख खुली तो एक बड़ी सी गाड़ी फुटपाथ पे चढ़ी हुई थी और हमारे साथी कुचले पड़े थे। हमको लगा कि शायद वो हमारी मदद करेगा, लेकिन
Oh, make matters worse.
Yeah.
Took his leg.
एक्सीडेंट ट्रक से हुआ था।
नहीं साहब, ट्रक नहीं था, कार था। वो हमें मुर्दा घर ले गए,
सब तेरे साथी है ना?
जहाँ हमारे 5 साथियों के 100 पड़े थे। हमको छोड़ दीजिए साहब।
अरे छोड़ कैसे दे? तुझे मारने के तो पैसे मिलेंगे।
हमारे पास भी कुछ पैसे हैं साहब। हमने अपनी 1 साल की कमाई
What? And he takes it.
एक पुलिस वाले ने हमें गोरखपुर की ट्रेन में बैठा दिया और हम गांव चले गए।
I think a case needs to be open on him too.
क्या ये वही लड़का है जो उस दिन रात को गाड़ी चला रहा था?
जी साहब।
And it's got to be painfully obvious to everyone following this
मेरी
case.
कोर्ट से एक दरख्वास्त है कि हमें अगली डेट दी जाए क्योंकि आज मुझे एक बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट मैटर है सुप्रीम कोर्ट में, इफ यू डोंट माइंड।
आप जूनियर काउंसिल को भेज दो, कोर्ट का फैसला तो आज ही होगा। हाँ, लंच के बाद मिलते हैं।
He's no more of this like, oh, you know, like you have somebody like a real estate agent or something. No more, no friends.
तूने 30,000 रुपए के लिए उसे जाने दिया।
He gets sick. It's kind of karma, right?
सर प्लीज माफ कर
अपनी शक्ल दोबारा मत दिखाना मुझे।
Imagine having enough arrogance where you can go into a police like that and just smack around like the head guy.
पहले तो I'd like to thank Mr. Tyagi for filing this PIL in court.
That's my feelings about it.
इन्वेस्टिगेशन रिपोर्ट से आज तक पता नहीं चला कि उस रात को एक्चुअली क्या हुआ। There is some confusion. पुलिस रिपोर्ट ये कहती है कि 6 लोग मारे गए और प्रोसिक्यूशन और सारी दुनिया कहती है कि सिर्फ 5 मारे गए।
He's trying to basically say, look, there's a whole bunch of confusion here and that.
A mistrial, if there is a thing.
Yeah, well, yeah, in this case.
लेकिन प्राइमा फेस एक बात जरूर साबित होती है कि पुलिस ने अपना काम ठीक से नहीं किया।
Oh, he's going to scapegoat them.
That the strongest action be taken against Sub Inspector Rathi. It is people like him that give the department a bad name. It is people like him कि investigation का मजाक उड़ाते हैं लोग।
Well, true.
He's going to
Pass the buck.
he's going to deflect, yep. And he's like, "When, dude, we are the police. We can make it a little difficult for you."
राठी की गलती की सजा मेरे क्लाइंट को तो नहीं मिलनी चाहिए।
Oh, that may allow them to get off, but then the police may produce all the evidence and say, "Nope."
That's true.
This is a botched up investigation with this laughable and hilarious evidence.
Oh, really?
Because if this happens,
Both things, eh?
it'll be the darkest hour in the history of the judicial system of this country.
Oh, wow. He's trying to make this judge feel like he's going to not be able to do it. So, yeah. But I think hopefully the judge sees all.
My deepest sympathies, क्या करे? लेकिन अगर आप फुटपाथ पे सोएंगे, तो मरने का रिस्क तो रहेगा ही।
Oh.
That's the harsh reality.
Oh.
So he's saying that he did. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
that it's like, oh, it's their fault for being on the footpath. Oh, yeah.
How does like the
Yeah. Well, there's
common man clap for him? He clearly spun that. Well, he's a master spinner, huh?
आज पहली बार जनाब मैं राजपाल साहब की बात से अग्री करता हूँ। फुटपाथ पे सोएंगे तो मरने का रिस्क तो है। ये लोग जो फुटपाथ पे सोते हैं, कौन है ये लोग? फिर क्यों चले आते हैं हमारे खूबसूरत शहरों को की खूबसूरती पे बट्टा लगाने? लेकिन इन भूखे नंगे बेकारों के पास भी एक चीज का हक है जनाब, और वो है जस्टिस। इनके इंसाफ की बात आती है तो कानून के सारे दरवाजे बंद होते हैं जनाब। डेट दी जाती है, भरोसा दिया जाता है, वादे किए जाते हैं, लेकिन इंसाफ नहीं जनाब।
They don't have the money or funds to fight it.
पिछले 8 महीनों में राजपाल साहब ने लैंड क्रूजर को ट्रक बना दिया है। 6 महीना और ये केस चलेगा और वो ये साबित कर देंगे कि वो ट्रक नहीं बल्कि ट्रेन थी।
That was a good line.
कि राजपाल साहब ये साबित कर देंगे कि ये आदमी सदाकांत मिश्रा नहीं बल्कि शाहरुख खान है। That is a joke जनाब, ये जोक है।
He's getting very
passionate.
Yeah.
फुटपाथ सोने के लिए नहीं होते, यही कहा था ना आपने? लेकिन राजपाल साहब फुटपाथ गाड़ी चलाने के लिए भी नहीं होते।
Yep, I started to say, yeah.
Well done. That's a
Yeah.
great one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't give you the right to drive on the path if you know.
He talks
Same thing.
इस कमरे के बाहर आपका मजाक उड़ाया जाता है, आपके नाम के SMS जोक भेजे जाते हैं, रेट फिक्स किया जाता है आपका। और जनाब इन पे एहसान मत कीजिए, बस इन्हें इनका हक दे दीजिए। मैं और कुछ नहीं कहना चाहता, बस थैंक यू जी।
You know, that might have been a risky move too to call out that jokes are being made of him. But
अच्छी स्पीच है, बहुत अच्छी स्पीच।
Yeah.
लड़का टक्कर गया है जी। खैर
No. It's a little clap.
भाई एक बात तो एकदम क्लियर है, कि इस केस में बहुत सारे इंपॉर्टेंट फैक्ट्स को मैनिपुलेट किया गया है। भाई मान लो कि गलती आपके क्लाइंट से हुई है, हाँ जी?
He's like, I see your games.
केस की पहली तारीख को मुझे मालूम होता है मुजरिम कौन है। मैं यहाँ बैठा रहता हूँ और एविडेंस का इंतजार करता रहता हूँ। एविडेंस अब आएगा, एविडेंस तब आएगा, लेकिन एक पेपर मेरे सामने नहीं आता, एक पेपर जिसको मैं सही मायने में बोल सकूं कि ये एविडेंस है।
Except the one that just arrived.
Right? Yeah, that paper meant something.
In PIL number 48693, this court finds Rahul Diwan guilty. Imprisonment for 7 years.
7 years for killing 5 people?
Do you realize that I will go to a higher court?
वो आपका अधिकार है ना।
But
लेकिन आज आपका क्लाइंट राजपाल साहब जेल जा रहा है। You may sit down. The court is adjourned.
Man, I can't believe only 7 years for 5 people. Like,
you would think that it'd
be a lot longer.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe chance of parole, but the thing is,
I don't understand.
7
I don't
years
know
is
their
so-
their
yeah.
legal system and how they do that.
But hey, got to take the win, right?
Yeah.
Oh, she's so proud of him.
Mm-hmm. Is that it? We're gonna close up with a little musical number here. There would be something with that last minute piece of paper that showed up, you know, that they had found out there was the money fraud going on with him and the manipulation of the case, which he could have cited him.
Yeah, I thought a couple things were going to play, and I thought that was maybe one of them, is that maybe secretly this whole time that guy shadowing him was maybe somebody that was actually recording everything going on, and that was on the good side, even though we thought he was on the bad side.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there seemed to be enough evidence, and the judge was right. He's like, clearly there's manipulation going on. He's like, why are you trying to spin? You're like trying your hardest, and he's like, I'm not an idiot. And even though like we had our first impressions of him, and he turned out to be kind of a fair judge.
Yeah.
You know, like he listened to both sides, although like you shouldn't get so chummy with the
either
lawyers and stuff.
side.
Yeah. But so I don't know. I thought it was good. I mean, oh man. Maybe the follow-up is going to be the case against that police officer.
Maybe, who knows?
Yeah, he deserves. Oh man, that guy's horrible. Like taking the guy's cash, and he was living on this, like he's sleeping on the streets, and you took all of the dude's money and
you know, here
the wedding jewelry.
Yeah, keep the jewelry and here's 5,000. You know, I mean, at a certain point, if you're on the take, it's like, I don't know. It's so hard for me to think that, I mean, supposedly the police are supposed to be the good guys, okay? And if you're on the take, okay, maybe you say, yeah, I'm on the take. I only take half of what people you know, something to at least take the edge off of it somehow or another. But it's just, I don't know.
It's really hard to watch because
it is really hard to watch.
First of all, I don't really know Indian court like laws, regulations, all that sort of stuff. But honestly, if I'm fair, even Hollywood movies make a big thing about this, and if you talk to a real lawyer that watches Hollywood courtroom dramas, they're going to be like, oh man, that is so dramatized and stuff, and a lot of that stuff wouldn't go down. And here, so I don't know, like this is definitely obviously like made for a movie, it's a movie, but at the same time it's super scary. Like when I watch courtroom dramas, not just this one, but like all of them, and there was a really good HBO miniseries. I forgot what it was called, but there was this guy that was wrongly imprisoned, and it was like, I think a 6-episode thing, and it was just horrifying that those things, and it's based on a real case. And just like...
And is this the one that they flipped to be in the same cell as a serial killer, and that was how they were going to get him out or something?
No, that was Apple TV, Blackbird, I think.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But anyway, I mean, the thing is that it's just really horrifying and stuff of nightmares to know that these sort of things do take place, because these are based on facts in some cases, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like, it's scary that, you know, cops can do things like that, and when you're in a serious accident and that, like, who do you trust? And I guess this is a lesson to as much as you can, document yourself.
Yes.
You know, like try to find recordings yourself, take pictures of the car yourself, do all that. Now, obviously, in this case, is very different because the guy just had his leg ran over. I mean, what is he going to do? And he probably didn't have a phone to do all the pictures and stuff. But
the only camera he had was that in his head.
yeah, and fortunately it was enough, and his testimony really helped the trial go along.
Right.
But I'm saying, like, really in any of these cases, in India, it's just like try to be as documented as you can because the police aren't going to do it.
You know, we've seen before where there are traffic cameras and other things like that. So they should have been able to see all of that fast driving before and the other white car, at least up until, you know.
Well, this is 2013, so
Maybe.
I'm not sure how big that was, you know, the infrastructure.
True.
And
true.
even, you know, even nowadays, I mean, there are, but I don't think it's nearly as enough.
Maybe.
And I thought, what about the other car? Like, I thought the other car was going to come up at the very end. Like, there was a statement that said that there was like a witness coming to the stand, and it was going to be the group of people in that car that was like, yeah, he was driving like crazy. He was behind us, and he was clearly drinking, and they saw his face, so they could identify him.
Right.
So I thought that that was going to come to play, and even more witnesses would corroborate the story. But anyway, I really enjoyed this one. Courtroom dramas are not typically my favorite because it all happens inside the court mostly, and I don't know, like court is kind of like a dull thing, so it's very impressive that someone can hold my attention while watching a courtroom like thing take place. But I think the Boman Irani and Arshad Warsi really captivated with their speeches and how they were moving about. And Boman Irani always has a way of like making me listen to him. And
even when he's a bad dude.
Even when he's a bad dude. He plays a bad dude really well. So I liked it, but the subject matter's not my favorite, but still I liked it. So I'm going to give it a 7, even though I thought like a lot of things about it was really well, but just the subject matter is just not the typical thing that I would watch. But I thought it was a good, entertaining movie. So that's
yeah. So definitely, I again, it's this very common theme of being on the good side, looking for truth, fighting for justice. In this case, I mean, the only way that you can often get justice is by getting to the truth. And this definitely showed how big money, big power can influence just how much truth gets exposed. And how much it can get buried, and then at that point is, you know, whether you will get justice or not. From the wealthy, you know, party's standpoint, they felt as though that they were wrong, and so they don't think that justice has all been served, you know. But when you peel it all back and you say, well, you know, what is the truth and justice here? Yeah, you shouldn't be driving on walking paths for sure. They're not called driving paths, they're called walking paths. So, you know, if it was broad daylight and you mowed someone over on the walking path, hey, you know, what about that? So, you know, I liked the theme. As always, I'm always there for the underdog. And definitely this was about the underdog. I liked also his arc a little bit in terms of, you know, you often look for that arc of, you know, how does the main character change over time? And it was rough for him that, you know, I got $2 million. You know, I'm good. I'm good. I got 2 million. I'm good, you know. But as I said several times, as I'm like going, man, the harsh reality of life is telling you and making you feel what you already know, that, yeah, this is not what you really want, and the 2 million is going to drive you nuts. And I love the symbolism of the rat, because it was like he suddenly was hanging out with the rats, okay, and he thought, okay, I need to do a little extermination and take them back to where they came from. So along with the money. So I think that his arc in terms of really standing up for himself and his integrity to do what was right and seek the truth, I think was really, really good. And I think the judge, when they had him in his chambers and he was having lunch, I assume it was lunch, and he was scolding him, but at the same time, I found it that he was, in a way, kind of doing it a little bit like, a nurturing dad and saying, get it together, and you don't think I see everything. I see everything. And, I know what's going on. So, just keep it together and don't be fighting like that. Don't make don't ruin your image, because it makes it harder for you to get your point across if people are like thinking one thing in their mind while you're trying to say something important. So, so I liked it. And overall, I liked the movie. It kind of had its little moments where it was a little draggy and a little slow. I think there could have been a little bit crisper editing on some of it. Love the little spins, the little dun dun dun, this actor, eyewitness, I thought didn't see that coming. I did think that, they were going to pay him off in some way, but I didn't see that it was going to be backed by him. And then, the bodyguard that didn't exactly view him as the best bodyguard. It was a good twist. So, like you, I am going to give this a 7. Really good. Acting was superb. Didn't get to see how the love life, it wasn't so much that it was about his love life. That was kind of just a very slight little storyline. It was really about her being his moral compass. I definitely think that. So yeah, a 7, and I'm good with it.
Yeah, you brought up a lot of good points, because that judge turned out to be the biggest twist in my mind, because this whole time we saw him being kind of like buddies with him, and even like maybe doing his own illegal activity by being like, so I heard you know someone there. Oh, they're your relatives, really? Well, it's a little expensive. Maybe you could, talk to someone. So from the get-go, I had my judgments on him already made.
You're judging the judge?
Yeah, but then as it went on, I mean, he even said that he's like, I sit here every day, and he's like, if it were up to me, I would say who's guilty and who's not guilty on that. But he's like, but the evidence, and unfortunately, these rich people get away with it because they're buying the evidence off. And as long as people are being willing to be bought off and scared away from the court hearings, I can't just go on what my gut tells me. I have to go with what the evidence shows. And he's like, so I've been praying for that day where the evidence will show up on my desk. And it did. And so and it goes back to him eating the lunch and calling him like, hey, sit down. And you're right, like he didn't have his judge garments on, and he was just eating dinner there, like super
very familiar,
casually.
very like he was at the family dinner.
Yeah, it totally felt like that, 100%. Yeah. So, and from that point onward, if you're paying close enough attention, which you obviously were, he was talking to him like he's his son, and just saying like, please give me a win here, because he was wanting to win just as much as Jolly was. Yeah. Now, what was going on is it wasn't just the case we were watching. It was also, because the case was like this rich family against like the people living on the streets and people of lower means and all that, right? So it was that. But the same was embodied by the two lawyers too.
Exactly.
Because the rich family thought they were too important to be taken down, and that lawyer thought he was too important and just too famous and stuff to be taken down. Yeah. And in both cases, when the common man stood up against it and is saying like, no, we deserve justice too, because that lawyer Jolly is like, no, I'm a good lawyer too. I want to fight for this and be what a lawyer is supposed to be. Yeah. And so in both cases, so they were going on side by side. So, and maybe even Jolly was realizing that when he was about to take the money, because he's like, wow, I'm about to be just like the people that I wish would actually step up. And he's like, so who am I to say something if I don't step up? Right. So I like it. It had a ton of really good themes and going on throughout the entire thing. And so, yeah, it was good. So there is another one with Akshay Kumar, and I think rumors maybe, or maybe it was officially announced, I don't know, I'll have to look into it, that a third one is coming out where both of them are going to be in it. Maybe. I don't know. I could be completely wrong.
So is Boman
No, Akshay Kumar and Arshad Warsi. I don't know if Boman or
okay.
I think
all
he
right,
was just in this case.
Okay.
So I don't think he's going to
So Jolly's going to go up again?
I don't know. We haven't watched the second one yet.
Okay.
Don't ask me what the third one's about until
I'm thinking in my
we
mind.
gotta watch the second.
Thinking in my mind.
But let us know in the comments. I mean, I'm almost sure I saw something about the third one, but I could be wrong. But let me know if I am or not. Also, I'm very interested to know what you guys thought about this movie and what your ratings would be. What, did we miss anything? But, court and legal things, I don't know that much.
We're like going, in our minds, we're thinking U.S. court system and doing all sorts of things that is like people yelling, I object and overruled and all this other sort of stuff. And, yeah.
But thank you so much for joining us here and watching along with us. Really appreciate it. And if you haven't already, please consider hitting that subscribe button, the bell icon, a like button,